So the first time these teams played on the exact same day, right? In the postseason, we had a blowout, right? And then we had a very close game that could have gone either way, right? So would you believe me if I said it happened again? Yeah? Right? Well, you're wrong. It kind of happened again, but I greatly misled you. See, the difference between what I said and what actually happened is the inverse. The team that was in a blowout game, the teams that were in a blowout game, they had the close game, and the other team had the blowout game. Okay, so let me not even lie. You saw the thumbnail. I'm going to be honest. You know who blew who out, right? We know the Spurs blew out the Wolves, and we knew that the Knicks had a very close game against the Joel Embiid-less Sixers. So, for starters, Joel Embiid was out with an ankle injury, for those wondering why Joel Embiid did not play the game. And for the second thing, these teams are just completely different. The Sixers without Joel Embiid and the Sixers with Joel Embiid are a completely different team. And playing against them and matching up around them is just as hard as it is having him on the team and knowing what to do with him when you have him and what to do when you don't, right? That's why the Sixers are a very conflicting team to like understand. I won't even say root for, because I mean, Philly's been are going to be underdogs the entire playoffs. It's going to be very easy to root for them. All right, let's cover the matchups and games. Let me tell you. So you're probably wondering, why did the Spurs blow them out, right? You might be wondering that. And I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I was paying attention in the part of the game where it wasn't a blowout. The bad news, the horribly terrible bad news. I don't know how to tell you this, but I caught in the middle of that run, dog. I just couldn't give a fuck. I could see that they were this is like pulling away, and that this game was never going to be close again, and I just could not give a fuck. I could not. It was the second game. It was late at night. I hadn't slept well the day before. It was a tough watch. Now, I was paying attention enough to know exactly what the fuck was going on. And also, I'm not gonna lie, even if you weren't paying attention, Lindy Water got minutes in this playoff game. So that should tell you everything you need to know. If Lindy Water is getting minutes in a playoff game for the San Antonio Spurs, bro, they're blowing some shit out, bro. All right? And considering that Lindy Waters didn't just play like 2 minutes, he played 8. He played closer to 9 minutes. And Jordan Clarkson and Kelly Olynyk, which how many of you knew Kelly Olynyk was still in the NBA? My dad and me were like I remember me and my dad having like an argument and being like, Kelly Olynyk's on this team. And he was like, no, Kelly Olynyk's not on this team. It's Mason Plumlee. And I'm like, I could have sworn I've seen Kelly Olynyk on this team, but I guess you're right. That is Mason Plumlee sitting right there. And the reason that we had this dumbass argument between the two of us as grown men is because both of these niggas are on this team, and we gaslighted each other about one of them only being on the team. That's what happened. So both of those players played. Bismack Biyombo also played, which Kelly Olynyk, Bismack Biyombo, and Mason Plumlee. This team was really worried about Wemby's injuries this season, huh? Jesus fucking Christ. That's not even to mention that none of these guys gets minutes because Luke Cornett is a second pick. Like, holy shit. I just want you to know, bro, when this team matches up against OKC probably, and they just try and throw Chet and Hartenstein to slow down Wemby, they will be throwing fucking 6 bigs on him too. They will be throwing 6 bigs respectively on that side too. They're like, all right, well, Shai's not getting to the paint, dog. He can shoot as many tough mid-ranges as he wants over Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper giving him fucking problems, bro. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead, try it. We'll send the 6. We'll have our 6 bigs play, and we'll see how you like the 3-guard lineup. Have fun, Steph. Have fun. Go get him. All right, so let me not even trip. Let me tell you exactly why this game was not as close as the previous one. All right, so Aida Sumo's back. He did not play well. He is still dealing with that injury, and it showed. He really just wasn't nearly as good as he was in the previous games. I know he had 43 in the playoffs, but came back down to like reasonable. He did not have a good game, like at all. They were not getting as much production as they were getting from Mike Conley previously, and that hurt them a lot. the production they were getting from Terrence Shannon, it was not the same. Everything that led them to being in a very close game, and that like even with Jaden McDaniels also having had good games, all of these guys were just struggling. They were struggling to get shit off. And the reason that all of these guys were struggling to get stuff off, well, I won't say, well, Jaden had a decent game, but like he was deterred from even taking the same amount of shots he took last time. And also, again, Ant's still playing through an injury. I want to give everyone here the benefit of the doubt, but like the entire team was having issues scoring on the San Antonio Spurs. And do you know why they were having issues scoring on the San Antonio Spurs? Because the defensive impact that we saw from Rudy Gobert that locked up Wemby is what he did to the entirety of their team. Like what Rudy does for the Spurs, not for the Spurs, what Rudy does for the Timberwolves is the same thing that Wemby does for the Spurs, but it might be on even a different level, to be honest. I think Rudy is very underrated as a defender because I think people have been slandering him for so goddamn long, even though we saw from him even in the Jokic series, because the casual is not going to be able to fucking be able to determine how good that Rudy's defense affected him. But Wemby is on a whole nother level, and I think that's been very apparent, like, just his entire fucking career, dog. He just... The same way Rudy deters shots from even being attempted in the area of him. Like, just no one wants to go to the basket with Rudy Gobert. And there are some players that will try and go to the basket, but those are, like, really all-time great players, and they're normally perimeter-oriented players. And they're trying to get... And they know how to get Rudy in positions where they can draw fouls. They're not really even trying to get shots off a lot of the time. Like, just because Luka and a couple of other guys in the NBA know what to do when Rudy's in the paint, doesn't mean other role players do. Role players go to the paint, they see Rudy, and they're like, yeah, nah. Some people will try that with Wemby. And Wemby won't be even in a good position. They'll blow by Wemby, and Wemby has still blocked their shot. Wemby will be on the perimeter. They've already gotten past him. There's an angle, and they've screened him off well, and he still blocks your shot. Wemby seems like he's a fucking omnipresent threat on the defensive end. Now, I will say another thing. I will be very critical of Wembanyama because I think that offense is a very important part of the game, and it's even more important than defense, except when you're a very transcendent player in the case of Wembanyama. But his offense has not been great. It just hasn't been great. Like, the 19 points you see here, it's good because they blew them out. And his defensive impact was enough to make it where so you didn't even notice how bad of a game he was really having on offense. 7 of 15 is not acceptable. I know Gobert is a great defender and he deters a lot of shots. I would still expect more of a Wembanyama. And the reason that the 7 of 15 is bad is because he shot too many threes. Honestly, the 19 points is not the issue. Wemby could truly have 15 and 15 and no one would care. That's not a problem for me. Wemby could genuinely just he had 19 points, 15 rebounds. If Wemby gives me 17, good efficiency 17, by the way, not good efficiency 17 and like 12 rebounds, it's probably going to be enough to beat a lot of teams. It truly is. Especially when there's a team that has Rudy Gobert on it. Like, I'm not mad at those numbers that I've seen right now. Rudy is definitely impacting Wemby, and I think you'll see that. Well, I mean, you saw how good he was in the last series, but I think you'll see that even more when he's not playing against Rudy and he's playing against fucking Chet. I'm like, yes, the top tier defenders in the NBA it really does go Wemby, Rudy, Bam. Yes, Bam over Chet. Fuck you. I don't care about what you think. Bam over Chet, especially because Bam's versatility. Bam, Chet, really, if you want to be a dick, you could put somebody ahead of Chet if you want to. I don't know who you would, but hey, neither here nor there. Another reason that this worked out a lot better for them and they won this matchup is because the guards were getting whatever the fuck they wanted. Julius Randle has been, so last year, right, we thought Julius had redeemed himself. Hell, even the year prior, when the team that he was on made it to the conference finals, even the year before that, yeah, we thought Julius had kind of redeemed himself, but like when he was up against like a really tough defense, he's not as good. So, a fun fact, the San Antonio Spurs are a really tough defense, and I saw him struggle against the Nuggets in a way that I didn't think made any sense, considering he should have been the number one option and what he should have been doing for this team there. I just don't have the same faith in Julius Randle that I once did. Again, it's gone back down. Julius has not been good. He just hasn't been good. I don't know what to tell you. Julian, he's been bad on the defensive end and the offensive end, so he's really hurt this team. They really need a healthy Ant to win. I'm not gonna lie. It was cute what they did in the first game, but whatever Greg Popovich had told this team as far as like a pep talk before the game when they were on the film study, and Greg, and it's not just what Greg says, to be honest, because sometimes Greg just says simple shit, but it's how Greg says it. Yeah, this team was just more prepared tonight. They were ready. I still need more from Keldon. But again, Keldon is one of like, what, 4 guards on this team? And then he won 6 Man of the Year. One of like 4 guards on this team. And really, he's more like a combo guard than he is really a small forward. Like, he's technically big enough to be a small forward, but not really. Dylan Harper continues to impress me. At a level that I didn't think that a rookie could be doing in the playoffs, let alone a rookie guard this early into his career. He's been great. Julian Champagnie, the shooting still continues. Devin Vassell, the shooting still continues. Like, I know a lot of people were thinking, these guys are not going to shoot this well in the playoffs. You were wrong. It's not just the shots they take, it's the diet of the shots they take. And these guys can catch fire quickly, and they did. And when they did catch fire, it was over. The game was over as soon as they caught fire. Who would have guessed? No, nothing more to say about this game. Let's talk about the other game that was much more closer, and I know that you're saying nothing more to talk about this game after all that. Yeah, nothing more after this. Let's talk about the game that wasn't a complete blowout. Alrighty. Knicks Sixers. Okay, so, again, I already gave you the context that Joel Embiid was not playing last night, but what led this game to be very close? If you look at a lot of the statistics and numbers of this game, you're going to notice 2 things. One, the New York Knicks, a more perimeter-oriented team, dominated in the paint, and the Sixers, a team that is much better as slashers, dominated from the three-point line. So, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. The difference between the Sixers being like really, really good and contenders is Embiid healthy? And between them being a dark horse and a contender. Is Embiid healthy? Oftentimes that is no. Is VJ Edgecombe a rookie, another rookie guard? I know this is crazy. We got a lot of rookie guards from the last draft cast that were very, very good and very well polished considering their age and when they came into the league, and they're very well developed right now. Is VJ Edgecombe this person having a good game? Is VJ having a good game? If VJ isn't having a good game, the Sixers are very competent and a team that can contend with anyone. If Joel Embiid is healthy, they are a very competent team that can contend with anyone. By the way, I think this has been very underrated, and that a lot of people won't really care about this or notice this because it's an aging star and they're used to this guy failing a lot in the postseason. Paul George as a third option, hell, as a second option, realistically speaking, right now, has been very, very good. Especially when you don't put the pressure and expectations of him to be the second guy on a championship winning team. Yeah, he's actually lived up to expectations. The shooting has been great. That has been a very big boost for this team because Kelly can, let's be honest, Kelly can be a little bit iffy as a shooter. He can be an offensive black hole at moments. He's really good at cutting off of actions and stuff like that. I didn't know Kelly would be in the league this long. I'm not going to lie. There was a period in time when I was just worried about Kelly Olynyk's career, not because it's a Kelly Olynyk, Kelly Oubre's career. And I was just thinking that I don't know how long he'll be an NBA player. I was like, I think he might be a model soon, right? Him and Kuzma. Funny enough, Kuzma's fallen off since then, and Kelly has started to play better with stars around him. Who would have guessed? They have very similar roles, to be quite honest. Especially on good teams. Kelly shot the ball better. That helps. That really did help. That really was the difference. VJ and Kelly showing up in this game were the difference between them losing a lot by little. They did have to, unfortunately, they had to insert Drummond into the starting lineup. I think they should have started with Bona. I don't know why they went with Drummond. Drummond off of the bench is a very good punch, 1-2 punch, especially when they're in the corner and shooting threes. That's very helpful. Drummond as a starter, not so much, Doug. Not so much. With Embiid out, you're going to need more from Quentin Grimes too. Let's talk about Dominic Barlow. I didn't know Dominic Barlow before this season. I did not know Dominic Barlow played for the San Antonio Spurs. I did not know he played for the Atlanta Hawks, but I do know his name now. He is in the repertoire and in the resume. What he's been doing for the Sixers team has been amazing. The defense that he played on Jalen Brunson. Wow, so many names. Jalen Brunson last night was very, very impressive. And yeah, Jalen's gonna hit tough shots. I mean, that's how Jalen got to the NBA. That's why Jalen is a fucking superstar. But like, the defense he played on him was about as good as you can, especially considering this guy sometimes plays center minutes for this team. This guy plays 4 minutes. He's a very versatile player. He plays a lot of positions for this team. He does a lot. The defense has been great for them. The rebounding and stuff is great. Now again, Tyrese Maxey did not show up. That's gonna be a problem for this team the entire series. If Maxey continues to shoot this poorly, and I really do mean this poorly from the field, that is gonna be a problem. And it also, again, Maxey, when he's hot, he is nuclear, and when he's cold, he's streaky. It's a lot of I mean, I say this about it seems like every player that wears the number 0 is like that though. Tatum, Tyrese Maxey, Dame used to be like this. Halliburton certainly was like that. I know we have the image of him in the finals run, but Halliburton was like that before then. Fuck. Yeah, pretty much everyone that wears 0, to be honest, has been like that in moments in certain times. It's hell, Dante DiVincenzo. Yeah. It's weird, but like, it happens. I would not be shocked if I heard news that he's playing through an injury. But he's been playing a lot of minutes for his team too, so that's helpful. The trust that Nick Nurse has in VJ Edgecombe is very telling. The trust that he has in Paul George is very telling. And it honestly makes me wonder, like, in an alternate timeline, if if the Raptors got Paul George to Toronto, what that would have looked like. With Nick Nurse coaching, obviously, I really actually do wonder what that would have been like if it was that situation instead of them being in LA and being coached by Doc Rivers. I truly do wonder. Yeah, it helps a lot that Kyle Lowry is on the roster too. I think Kyle Lowry has a very good appreciation for Nick Nurse, not just because they made them champions, but like that, and having vets like that in your locker room is always going to be very impactful. I personally cannot speak to that because I'm not in the locker rooms, but from what I've seen throughout watching my time and watching the NBA, I can feel like I can say that with certainty how much vets really help this team, and they're really helping VJ Edgecombe's development. But I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be it though. There's not really a lot more to give you as far as analysis. It was a very balanced game from the Sixers. Again, they're just missing a little bit more of that guard play from Tyrese Maxey. I can break down for what happened with the not really break down, but tell you what happened as far as how the Knicks were able to be this hot. Obviously, OG Anunoby has been very good for this team. He's been very good in the paint. He has not shot. He didn't, even when he wasn't shooting the ball very well, he was very, 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 very helpful in the paint. The 4 steals he generated were a lot for this team. They came at very crucial and critical moments. Hart was in a situation where he was in like a lot of foul trouble, and well, not a lot of foul trouble, but just like kind of fouls that you're just like, why are you getting involved in these moments? Why are you in this situation to begin with, right? Hart, again, not a great offensive player by any stretch of the mean, but whatever he gives you, it just feels like a plus. It's the same. I say the same thing with Jalen Suggs, but Jalen Suggs is not nearly the shooter that Josh Hart is, to be fair. Mikal Bridges, this was the Mikal Bridges game for those wondering. Did he hit any of his corner threes? No. Did he feel like he hit almost every single clutch shot down the stretch? Yep. The 18 points, they helped. 20. By the way, OG had 24. If those were wondering. Cat was not as aggressive as I want. He shot less threes than I really particularly think. Again, Cat is struggling with his role. I think Mike Brown is struggling to figure out what to do with Karl-Anthony Towns because he can do so much. That might actually be the problem. But yeah, Cat played less minutes. Again, he was in foul trouble. That's just a thing that's going to happen with Cat. But when he's in foul trouble, he does not allow to get a lot of touches to get off his offensive rhythm. Jesus Christ. This is why I need an editor. I would cut stuff like that out of the video. Brunson, if you just look at the numbers, Brunson had a pretty mid game for Brunson standards. But if you actually watch the game, you would know he was hitting those tough shots when it really mattered. So, and they won. So, yeah, the streak of him having 30-point games against this team in particular has been broken. Oh well. But yeah, everyone showed up when he needed it, and when he needed help, they got it. The Sixers were in a position to really win this game, and it came down to stretch. It came down to Mikal Bridges. It came down to Jalen Brunson, and to an extent, OG Anunoby as well. Those guys hit shots for this team. And I'm not going to lie, last year it would have been Brunson and Cat and the rest of the world. This year, it's a much more balanced diet of who can help save the team when they really need it. You're still going to get a lot of heroics and hero ball from Jalen Brunson. That's just who the fuck he is. That's not going to change for anybody. But yeah. Again, Miles Bridges played way too many minutes for me. They are very lucky that Maxey has not been able to fry him in the way that he's been supposed to. Because it has been problematic in moments for them. They're very lucky that has not paid off in the merits that I wanted. Also, if you heard that in the other room, that was my brother. I'm sorry. Shit happens. I'm not doing a whole new fucking take of the video just because you heard that. I'm sorry, Doug. It happens. I try to record these when no one's home, but sometimes someone is home. Jeremy Shohan touched the court. That was weird. I don't know about that. Yeah, no, don't do that. Again, I don't really understand why DOR is not getting as many minutes. Like, I don't know if his coach just doesn't trust him. I think DOR is cool, dog. Like, I don't. Yeah, he got a DNP. In a game where you're missing Mitchell Robinson, why is DOR not touching the floor? Like, what the fuck is that about? I mean, thank God that. Thank God, right, that Embiid wasn't healthy today, because if you're not gonna play DOR, this is weird. I don't know. I just think DOR brings so much more to the floor. Like, he stretches the floor. That's helpful for this team. I don't understand why you would want to not play him. I don't get that. Mike Brown has made a lot of questionable decisions, and the winning is still there, right? So it's I don't think it'll be a problem. But I think when they have to inevitably play the toughest team they're gonna play, which is probably gonna be Detroit or Cleveland. Hell, it might be Cleveland though. That's gonna rear its ugly head. It's probably gonna be a tougher matchup for them if they face Detroit. But fuck it, let's just say hypothetically they beat Detroit or Cleveland, and they face off against like whatever team comes out west. I know they've beaten the Spurs in a single elimination game with like a lot of playoff intensity, like in atmosphere in the cup, but I don't know that they're really ready and prepared for that, and not having these guys DOR and such trained to deal with bigs that you're definitely gonna face, because San Antonio isn't gonna have a big. Cat, I don't think Cat is going to enjoy the prospect of being potentially guarded by fucking Victor Wembanyama or the Thunder's defense, or even worse, God forbid he gets messed up with the worst Frenchman of all time to be touched by Rudy Gobert. I just don't know, man. I think this is going to be a problem, especially if your other bigs aren't prepared for that. Because Mitchell Robinson, let's be honest, if it's a series with Mitchell Robinson out there, right, and whatever big it is, they're just going to ignore them and be able to focus to really lock in on the guards. Especially Wemby. Wemby's going to be able to guard Mitchell Robinson and whatever guards driving to the paint at the same time, and break up lobs too. So he won't be a threat. Mike Brown needs to play his bigs, because Embiid is one of the bigs they're going to be playing. It's not going to get better for them. It's not. If they face the Cleveland Cavaliers, right, the bigs they're going to have to face are Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. That's not going to be easy for them, especially considering how Cat is in foul trouble all the time. If they face Wemby, it's worse. If they face Gobert, that's bad. If they face Chet and Hartenstein and Jalen Williams, that's not going to be bad. That's not going to be good all of a sudden. That is going to be problematic. I think he needs to get his bigs prepped in this series, because if they're not prepped in this series, it is not going to get easier. It is only going to get harder. One of the strengths that they really, really had against the Atlanta Hawks is that they didn't have a big. Every team doesn't have fucking Zachary Richardson. You'll find out that some of these French bigs are actually good. So, yeah, I'm worried about the Knicks, and they're up 2-0 right now, because we just saw what this team did to Boston, and no offense, sometimes the Knicks are similar to that Boston team. So I am concerned about the Knicks, even though they take a 2-0 lead. I am concerned about the Timberwolves, but to be quite honest, there's not much more they can do to impress me in the series. They've done so much lifting. They've already impressed us a lot. They've shown me grit and toughness throughout the entirety of the playoffs so far, and I'm already impressed with them. As far as predictions, dude, I do not think the Lakers are gonna win anything tonight. Fuck, they might not win a game in this series. So, good luck. And as far as the Cavs, hey, maybe if James Harden turns over the ball a little bit less and doesn't have 43 turnovers in the entire playoffs so far, we can probably win, maybe ish. I don't know, dog. Yeah. Fuck. I'm really hoping the Cavs don't disappoint me tonight. I with all the business, like, happy birthday. Wait, no, like, comment, subscribe. Sorry, goodbye.